So let me ask you something kind of personal right out of the gate. Do you ever feel afraid of being, well, too happy? Just picture this for a second. Everything in your life is actually going well. The dust is completely settled, you've just wrapped up this massive project at work, or maybe you're just chilling on your couch on a perfectly quiet Sunday afternoon. But right at that exact moment, instead of feeling relief, this strange creeping dread starts washing over you. When you absolutely should be celebrating or just relaxing, you feel nervous. You start wondering, wait, why is everything going so perfectly? I definitely don't deserve this much good. Maybe a massive problem is literally just around the corner. Listen, if you've ever felt that visceral panic precisely when things go right, this explainer is built exactly for you.
We've all been there, right? When a genuinely great opportunity practically lands in your lap, like, say, finally getting approved to buy a house, does your internal monologue immediately shout, "Okay, what's the catch?" Or maybe you meet someone on a dating app who actually texts back, communicates like an adult, and treats you incredibly well. Instead of being thrilled about it, does your mind frantically start searching for their hidden red flags? Honestly, if this sounds exactly like you, I want you to hear this loud and clear. You are not weird. You're not just some chronic overthinker making up problems out of thin air. What you're experiencing is actually a very specific, deeply ingrained psychological pattern.
Okay, let's dive into this hidden fear. To really wrap our heads around it, let's look at a scenario straight out of the psychological research. Imagine a guy who just lands his absolute dream job. You know, that huge corporate promotion he's been chasing for literally years. Everyone around him thinks he's set for life. They're popping champagne, the whole shebang. But what is actually going on inside his head? He's not excited at all. Actually, scratch that. He's not just unexcited, he is full-on panicking. He starts making completely uncharacteristic little mistakes. He snaps at his super supportive partner, overthinks every single minor email, and behaves like he's subconsciously trying to ruin the exact opportunity he worked so hard to get. Why on earth would anyone do that?
Well, it really all comes down to this stark contrast between expectation and reality. We expect that achieving a lifelong goal is going to equal unbridled excitement and just pure joy. But the reality for this guy, and let's be real, for so many of us, is overwhelming panic. And it's because deep down in his mind, this very specific belief has taken root, the belief that happiness is fundamentally unstable. There's this twisted internal logic telling him that the better things feel right now, the bigger and more devastating the inevitable blow is going to be. It is that exhausting, heavy feeling of just constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Believe it or not, this whole psychological mystery actually has a clinical diagnosis. It's called cherophobia. Simply put, it's an irrational fear of happiness. And it stems entirely from the deep-seated belief that feeling good is just the universe's precursor to tragedy. Now, I know cherophobia sounds like some strange, rare medical term, and you might feel totally isolated if you experience it. But I promise you, psychologists see this constantly. It's an incredibly common, widely shared phenomenon, especially in our modern, high-stress world, where we're kind of subtly taught to always be on our guard.
So why does the human mind do this? Why would it actively punish you for being happy? Well, we have to look at your brain's primary evolutionary job description. It's a protection system. Your brain always, above all else, wants to keep you safe from harm. And somewhere along the line, it made a very specific, kind of tragic calculation about happiness and vulnerability. It recognized that standing at the top of a beautiful mountain of joy means you have a very long and very painful way to fall.
It basically all boils down to this internal logic. If I don't let myself get too happy, I won't get too hurt either. That right there is the very core of cherophobia. By keeping your expectations locked safely in the basement and by keeping your emotions entirely muted, your brain calculates that when the inevitable pain finally shows up, it just won't hurt quite as much. It's literally an emotional preemptive strike against disappointment. The math is simple. If you don't care, you can't be devastated.
We typically view this kind of anxiety as a weakness, right? Or maybe some fundamental character flaw. But it helps immensely to reframe this negative feeling as a misplaced strength. This isn't your brain breaking down or failing you. No, this is a survival strategy. Your brain is literally screaming at you, hey, I'm trying to keep you safe over here. It's trying to act as an impenetrable emotional shield against the world. The problem, of course, is that the shield is so incredibly heavy that it's just crushing you.
To really fix this, we have to play detective and investigate the origin story of this survival strategy. Because, let's face it, this habit didn't just develop overnight last Tuesday. It started a long, long time ago. In fact, it usually forms back when you were so young you couldn't even understand it yourself. The roots of cherophobia almost always trace back to childhood programming. And it doesn't even always mean a traumatic or explicitly abusive past. It could literally just be from growing up in a chaotic or financially unstable household, where mood shifted quickly and the rug was constantly being pulled out from under you.
Let's move to and see how this builds over time. It usually starts in early childhood with that unpredictable environment. Maybe sometimes everything was totally fine, you're having a great day, and then suddenly, with absolutely no warning, a massive stressful event occurred. One day you were laughing, the next day tension just filled the house. Growing up in that dynamic, the developing brain connects good moments directly with warning signs. It essentially learns that something bad always follows something good. And because the human brain doesn't easily overwrite its earliest, most foundational programming, by the time you reach adulthood, this exact same protective pattern just keeps repeating on an endless loop.
All right, let's shift our focus to how this actually plays out today. Because this childhood programming, it doesn't just sit quietly in the background like some forgotten memory. It actively sabotages your adult life. It reaches right into your present moments of joy and turns you into your own worst enemy at the exact times you should honestly be thriving the most.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how that sabotage works across different areas of your life. In your romantic life, the trigger is actually a good thing, like a partner who is genuinely caring and deeply supportive. But because there's no chaos, your brain's warning system goes completely haywire. As a result, you end up creating distance or picking fights over absolutely nothing. In your career, the trigger might be achieving a major long-term goal. The immediate sabotage? Instantly thinking, wow, I do not deserve this, and filling your body with severe unease instead of just feeling proud of yourself.
You can almost physically feel the exhaustion in this inner monologue. I don't deserve this. How did I even get it? I feel like this just won't last. It is so incredibly draining. Even on perfectly normal sunny days, when literally everything is fine and peaceful, there is this buzzing, electric uneasiness inside. Your brain simply refuses to let itself settle down on the couch and just enjoy the movie of your own life. It is constantly, and I mean constantly, waiting for the jump scare. Now, I want you to really focus on what I'm about to say. If you recognize yourself in this explainer, this is not your fault. You are not broken, and you are definitely not weak. The big realization here is that you are simply a person whose brain did an absolutely incredible job of protecting you when you were young and vulnerable, and it just hasn't realized yet that the danger has finally passed.
Let's contrast your past with your present for a second. Back then, in your childhood, this survival pattern was your armor. It kept you alert in unpredictable situations and actively protected you from being blindsided by pain. But now? Now, that exact same pattern is literally the only thing keeping you from being fully happy today. The armor has rusted shut. It served its noble purpose in a war that ended years ago, and now it's just trapping you inside.
But here is the incredibly good, uplifting news. Because this is just an old software program running in your mind, it can be uninstalled. It can genuinely be changed. You do not have to live the rest of your beautiful life afraid of your own joy. We can absolutely break this pattern. We can work together to retrain your brain to accept happiness not as a threat, but as a completely safe, wonderful baseline.
So the crucial point is knowing exactly what to do the very next time that panic of happiness hits. The psychological research outlines a super actionable 3-step framework. Step 1, pause. When the panic hits, don't text your partner to start a fight, don't self-sabotage, and please don't reject that amazing job offer. Just pause. Step 2, check in with yourself and ground yourself in your present reality, not your past trauma. And Step 3, consciously teach your brain new rules. Let's explore exactly what to say to yourself during Step 2.
This right here is your powerful new internal script. When the fear creeps in, take a slow, deep breath. Intentionally step out of that subconscious loop and say this to yourself. This feeling isn't new. It's an old pattern, and this present moment is completely safe. There is absolutely nothing to be afraid of. By actively saying this, you're stepping away from the panic and engaging your conscious, logical brain to confirm that, hey, your current perimeter is totally secure.
And finally, as you continue to check in with yourself, you need to slowly teach your brain these new mental rules to rewrite that outdated programming. First off, you don't have to force yourself to be wildly happy immediately. Honestly, just aim for quiet peace first. Second, remind yourself that not everything good is dangerous. And lastly, not everything comes with a painful price tag. Sometimes, good things happen simply because you worked hard for them, you deserve them, and that is the end of the story. There is no catch. The system that protected you in the storm shouldn't keep you hiding when the sun finally comes out, right? You've survived the hard parts of your life. Now it is time to actually allow yourself the luxury of just being happy. So I want to leave you with a question to ponder today. Does this happen to you too? Even when everything is finally going perfectly well in your life, do you still feel that quiet fear echoing inside? I encourage you to take back your joy. And please, share your personal experiences with us in the comments below. I'll see you in the next explainer.